Welcome to FinTech Confidential, bringing you the people, tech, and companies that change how you pay and get paid. Today, we are extremely fortunate to have Alex Rhodes, the Chief Operating Officer at Best Egg.
The business begins to evolve. You really start to understand the product that you are offering, who you are serving, and the difference that you can make in the lives of your customers. And so what I would say is throughout the course of the last 10 years, we are still very business minded, but we understand our customer. We listen to our customers and we build for our customers. I think price is important to customers to an extent, but service, ease, and flexibility are things that customers highly value. We are the most flexible by way of payment arrangements in the fintech space, whether it's selecting a personalized payment schedule at the time a customer gets a loan with us, or when life happens to customers, they happen upon a financial hardship. And so talk about ruthless prioritization. We prioritized and focused on getting these customers the support and flexibility that they needed to get back to paying on their loans. And so in record time, it was a matter of weeks, we were able to, from concept through to implementation and in production, build 2 repayment programs. And if I were to fast forward 6 to 8 months after that period, it was just a little blip in the radar. Personalization is going to separate companies. Customer loyalty is going to separate companies. So being able to attract consumers into your ecosystem is step one. Maintaining that relationship going forward, serving that customer's needs over a longer period of time is going to be critical.
As default rates continue to rise and margins compress in lending, financial organizations are searching for solutions to combine that operational efficiency with innovation. Look no further, as LoanPro allows lenders to enhance their origination, servicing, collections, and payments using the foundation of a modern lending core. Check out LoanPro.io to learn more about how over 600 financial organizations have modernized their tech stack with LoanPro. Welcome to Accrued, the FinTech Confidential series presented by LoanPro. In this series, we're deconstructing the complexities of lending and exploring compliance, optimization, modernization, and personalization through insightful conversations with the industry's best. I'm Ted Huff with my co-host Colton, guiding you through the intricate lending world. Whether you're deep into lend tech or just intrigued by how the technology is reshaping lending, you're in the right place. Now let's dive into another episode of Accrued. Colton, welcome back, man. I am so excited to have Alex on today.
I'm stoked for Alex too. I did mention this, Ted. You're missing the vest. I really wish that you would wear a vest today. We can do the finance vest thing, but
hey, okay. I'll accept a LoanPro vest, man.
I'll send you.
I'll accept one.
Yeah, I'll get it shipped to your address. I got you.
Today, we are extremely fortunate to have Alex Rhodes, the Chief Operating Officer at Best Egg, and he's bringing over 20 years of experience in business strategy and operations to the table for us to talk about. And his track record is nothing short of being impressive. Before joining Best Egg, Alex honed his expertise in various roles in leadership across the financial industry, including positions at major financial institutions you might have heard about before, like Barclaycard, Bank of America. Those are very unusual companies you may not have ever heard of. But his deep knowledge of credit and customer experience and operational management has been a major cornerstone of his success. At Barclaycard, Alex led the U.S. collections and recovery operations, where he was responsible for overseeing recovery strategies for consumer and small business lending. He later moved on to Bank of America, where he managed supply chain operations and vendor control functions, and his ability to navigate these complex operational challenges made him a natural fit for leadership roles. And it wasn't long before he was recruited by Best Egg in 2014. Since then, he's been at the forefront of Best Egg's transformation from a fledgling fintech startup to a major player in the industry. And as the COO, he has overseen the company's operational growth, leading to the management of over $23 billion in personal loans. His strategic vision has been a key to scaling Best Egg's operations, which is now servicing over 1.6 million accounts In today's conversation, we'll dive into how Alex's extensive background and operational expertise have shaped Best Egg's success. We'll explore the strategies he's employed to ensure Best Egg remains nimble, customer focused, and ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving financial landscape. So let's dive into the insights and decisions that have positioned Alex and Best Egg as leaders in the fintech industry. Welcome, Alex. Hopefully that was good enough for you, my friend.
Ted, that was awesome, fantastic. Big round of applause for you just for the intro. Couldn't be happier to be here with you, Ted, and my good friend Colton. So looking forward to the conversation.
Colton, you had talked about, and you and I have been talking about this a lot, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that Alex and the team over at Best Egg are doing. What was it that you saw that they're doing that made you go, I've got to get them on the podcast and share what's going on over there?
There's several aspects. So I'm a little biased. They say don't have a favorite customer. Best Egg's a customer of ours. I will say a favorite. How about a favorite, Alex? But Alex is one of
good enough for me. Yeah.
Favorite people to work with. I remember when I joined LoanPro, I worked in Best Egg at a prior organization too, or with Best Egg at a prior organization. But Rhett, he was like, you got to meet Best Egg. You got to meet Alex. I remember one time we went there, we played 2-on-2 basketball all night, and Alex is like a professional basketball player. So if anyone ever wants to like see Alex at a conference and challenge him to a basketball game, Alex Johnson, a good friend of mine, he plays a good amount of basketball. I think a one-on-one Alex Rhodes and Alex Johnson would be entertaining. But Alex, it's great to have you, man.
Anytime. Thank you, Colton.
So you're talking about an A2A basketball tournament. That's what I'm hearing.
I just challenged. We're going to have to send this to Alex Johnson and tell him that Alex Rhodes wants to play him in basketball. Let's do it.
Well, we're not here to talk about basketball, but we are here to talk about Alex and what's going on over at Best Egg. Alex, for those who are not familiar with Best Egg, can you give us a brief synopsis over you joining the organization and what the overall journey for the past 10 years has been for Best Egg?
So for myself, I joined Best Egg very close to launch about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago. I had cut my teeth in the industry in major financial institutions, like you said, the Bank of America, the Barclays of the world, and had phenomenal experiences there. Finished grad school and was kind of at a bit of a crossroads for myself in my own career, and this opportunity presented itself. And so I went from a beautiful office building on the Wilmington waterfront to a not so beautiful office building up on Concord Pike here in Delaware, and joined a small group of people with a vision and a dream for the future of personal lending. So super exciting time. We launched the business in 2014, early 2014, and launched with our flagship product today, which is our personal loan business. We went from no loans, obviously at launch, to today originating over $30 billion in loans and serving over 2 million customers. Along that,
so my numbers were a little too low.
Was that? Yeah,
my numbers were.
I like numbers that impress you, Ted. I wanted to impress you with some numbers. I know 30 billion doesn't sound like a lot, but here in little old Delaware, it's quite the feat. And so over the course of the last 10 years, we've had ups and downs in the business. The economy and our customer base have had ups and downs, but we have persevered, and today again have this flagship personal loan business that is serving lots of needs for our target customer, which is a limited savings customer. And we have recently introduced several new products to help serve even a broader set of customers. So we have a auto lending product. We have a rent product that works a bit like buy now, pay later for our customers' rent. And we also have a home secured product. So lots of good things happening at Best Egg.
Love that. So Alex, one of my favorite things of fintech folks that are early on in a company is to extract and understand key learnings and takeaways, because when you're there in that not so nice building with a handful of people with a vision, right? Through that journey, now on a tremendous growth trajectory, you learn a lot. Help us understand the key takeaways, the learnings, the insights that you have there.
You are fighting for survival very early on in any business's life, and so it's about building a foundation for a strong business, ensuring that you're getting to profitability within an acceptable period of time. Once you get through that that period, it is, at least from my perspective, it's about customer focus. And so the business begins to evolve. You really start to understand the product that you are offering, who you are serving, and the difference that you can make in the lives of your customers. And so what I would say is, throughout the course of the last 10 years, we have evolved as a business to be, we are still very business minded, but we understand our customer, we listen to our customers, and we build for our customers. And so I think those are some of the key learnings that have kind of marked key transition points in our business over time.
Now let's quickly shine a spotlight on a game changer in the financial world, ClearingWorks. Simplify your financial management with a one-stop solution for all your AR needs and with a single login. Are you intrigued? Visit clearingworks.com to schedule your demo today.
I love the focus on the customer. So that's one key magic point, right? But one of my favorite things about Best Egg is you'll play your flagship product, personal lending, highly competitive space right now, right? So what's the differentiators? What really impacts, because certain folks try and differentiate based on rate, and my view is that's a losing game. You got to find other key differentiators why people come back to Best Egg consistently.
This is not, in my mind, a commoditized business. To your point, this isn't just a widget pushing business. We have a deep focus on customers. We focus on what we know matters most to our customer base. And so ease and flexibility are two of the main things that I would highlight. It is very easy to obtain a loan with us. We have a high digital engagement level with our customers. We provide a set of capabilities and channels for them to not only originate their loans, but to service their loans once they become a customer. From an ease standpoint, I can't underscore enough how important it is to listen to customers, build a simple and easily understood process.
You talk about focusing on the customer, and from my interactions with Best Egg, it comes out in all of your team members. All your team members do that, and I know that's a clear differentiator. One of my favorite aspects about Best Egg is you're in a highly competitive market, but you can't just differentiate based on price like people try to. Best Egg does a really good job at key other differentiators. Help us understand the magic and how and why customers continue to come back to Best Egg.
I think price is important to customers to an extent, but service, ease, and flexibility are things that customers highly value. And so we've invested a lot over the years in enhancing our tech stack, ensuring that we are providing simple and slick tech infrastructure and capabilities for our customers to not only obtain loans, but then to also service their loans on the back end. From a flexibility standpoint, I think this is really some of our secret sauce. I would venture to say that we are the most flexible by way of payment arrangements in the fintech space. Whether it's selecting a personalized payment schedule at the time a customer gets a loan with us, or when life happens to customers, they happen upon a financial hardship, or they otherwise need some assistance with their monthly payments. We have a broad suite of flexible repayment options that we're able to offer customers to help them stay afloat.
So, Alex, as you talk about the technology, the flexibility, the service, all these different pieces, independently, they don't really do a whole lot. It's when you bring them all together that you really get that force multiplier. Can you share with us an example of how and when you bring all of those pieces together?
Ted, I couldn't agree more that cohesion of these different capabilities matters a lot. I'll talk about payment programs as an example. We have had payment programs since very early in our history, but had not developed a full suite of options to really meet different customers' needs. Over the course of time, we have developed these capabilities where we are able to meet a customer where they are, help them over a financial hardship, regardless of how long that hardship lasts. It can be, as little as a month to as long as full term of the loan. We are able to craft a repayment program for that customer to keep them on track. So self-service is really important to us, specifically from a payment program standpoint, because customers don't always want to talk to someone over the phone. Within the comfort of their own home and the channel of their choice, they're able to understand the options that are available to them and enroll in a payment program that best fits their needs. So, for example, a customer has an unexpected expense that comes up. They can log into our customer servicing website, understand the different flavors of flexible options available to them, enroll, modify their payment due date and their payment amount, and seamlessly go back to paying in full once that payment program expires. And so we found that providing customers with that level of choice and channel flexibility makes all the difference.
So when you talk about giving them the ability to meet them where they're at and the channel that they like to use, what have you done that helps them understand that that's even available?
We are big on constant customer engagement. And so we don't wait until we see that a customer is experiencing financial difficulty. We routinely outpulse information to our customers, whether it's through our monthly newsletter or even more targeted approaches to reach customers that we think may be falling upon a financial hardship, to let them know that there are options available. Here are the multitude of channels where you can consume information and gain knowledge about what we have to offer. And again, we've seen lots of success with customers going and self-solving. Look, at the end of the day, some customers do want to reach out to us directly, and we'll happily have voice conversations with folks. But we have found that customers gravitate towards these digital solutions.
It's actually an experience directly related to Best Egg. Alex, I don't think I've ever shared this with you. But about 6 months ago, we were trying to recruit a sales member to come on our team. And I remember we told him, he's like, who do you work with? We're like, we work with Best Egg and Intuit and Chime and folks like that. And he's like, Best Egg, interesting. I had a really cool experience with Best Egg 2 years ago when I was in a really hard time, got a personal loan. I lost my job and I called in. I said, hey, I lost my job. I don't know if I can make my next payment. And like, oh, no worry, we can enroll you in this hardship program on this way in this payment program. It's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. And then there was kind of like an awkward pause. And she's like, can I help you with anything else? He's like, oh, yeah, could you do that? I'll wait on hold. And she was like, oh, it's done. And he was so blown away. And when we told him, they use LoanPro's platform, he was so blown away with Best Egg. He was like, you know what, I need to work with this company. So the work that y'all are doing, and the impact that you're having with people when they have a hard time, it's all about like how to drive. You talk about flexibility, how to drive flexibility and meet the borrower and customer where they're actually at. When you tug on that string a little bit more, you mentioned at the beginning, Best Egg has done a really good job, from my perspective, launching new products and new personalized products and expanding and say, hey, our flagship product and what are the other products that look at? How do you stay nimble? How do you launch new products? What's the secret and what are y'all doing well there?
I would say that we have a culture of innovation. We have a culture of customer insights, understanding customer needs, and then building for those customers. And so from a nimble standpoint, our operating model is highly nimble. I can speak for operations itself. We have the ability, based on how we are structured, to flex up and flex down by way of FTE needs.
Support provided by Skyflow. What if you could build fast but not break privacy? What if you could ensure data privacy, governance, and compliance with just a few API calls? What if you could worry less about PCI requirements while actually improving privacy and security? How much more time would your team have to truly innovate? How much faster could you build and ship new features? How much more powerful could your app be? Skyflow is a zero-trust data privacy vault delivered as an API. Skyflow's radically simple design lets you collect, secure, and tokenize personal information like card data and payment details. And with built-in features like encrypted data analysis and sharing, anonymization, and advanced governance, your days of choosing between data security and data usability are over. Whether you're just concerned with PCI compliance or need to go further to include CCPA, GDPR, SOC 2, and beyond, Skyflow has you covered. What if you could build fast but not break privacy? With Skyflow, you can. Visit skyflowsecure.com today to learn how.
I think from a platform standpoint, you have to have a tech stack that enables you to build new products, that enables you to provide personalized functionality, that enables you to put powerful information in the hands of your frontline colleagues that allows them to better service customers. And so, it's no surprise that we have the LoanPro platform that has been a differentiator for us in being able to launch new products and service those products in a way that allows us to impart the customer experience that we know today.
A lot of these things that you're talking about are like, if you look at the traditional lending space, this is extremely innovative. It's not something that everybody is doing. As you're launching these products, I mean, you listed off, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 earlier. I was trying to keep track, but you were listing them off so fast.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that the organization stays agile enough to be responsive to the customers as you continue to grow into these new markets?
2 things I would reference here, Ted. One is we spend, I won't say a lot of time, but we are very focused on organizational alignment and ensuring that our people know where we are going in the future. We do that by setting short and medium term goals and the expectations or the results that nest under those goals, and so everyone understands where we are going. I think that's critical in being a nimble company. We are highly focused on prioritization. So we call it ruthless prioritization. There is no lack of good ideas in this business, and it's difficult to say no to good ideas from time to time, but we stay nimble because we stay hyper focused on what we know is going to deliver the most value and what's most important to do today. And so I think, by aligning an organization around common goals, common outcomes, and ruthlessly prioritizing on what's most important today, we're able to move this ship a lot faster than other businesses.
Alex, there's 2 aspects there. And what I love about that is even as you've grown tremendously from an FTE perspective, from a loan volume perspective, you've still maintained nimble and while launching new products, which is a pretty cool feat in of itself. But there's 2 aspects here, and a lot of companies think that they compete against each other, but you in your operations role have found a way to both of them go together. And it's, how do you focus on the customer and provide a best-in-class customer experience, but how do you also drive operational efficiency? And sometimes companies will focus on operational efficiency and it hurts the customer, or focus on the customer and it hurts operational efficiency. How are y'all measuring operational efficiency, what that looks like? And then what are some examples of some things you've done that have helped drive increased operational efficiency in the business?
So we measure operational efficiency in a variety of different ways. From a business standpoint, we focus on our cost to serve, our cost to originate. From a customer standpoint, we look at the level of effort that customers have to expend to get a job done, right? So are we removing friction out of processes? Are we able to streamline servicing and make it easy and simple for customers? And so that's what we focus on. I've never thought that customer experience and operational efficiency are at odds. And I think I understand why you can say that, or why some may say that, but for me, they work so closely together. If you do what is good for your customer, which is generally going to make things fast, simple, easily understood, you are going to drive operational efficiency. If you can increase self-service rates, provide channel preference like we talked about earlier, those are things that are going to give you operating leverage, so you don't have to have voice conversations with the whole of your customer base. It's going to give you leverage as you grow, right? And so our servicing website is scalable. Our other servicing channels are also scalable, and that's what's been important for us to be able to become more and more efficient over time while providing very rich, deeper experience for customers.
My career has mostly been product and operations. So I'm hearing you go through and talk about all of this. And it just reminds me of the number one thing anytime that I took over a product or a group, first thing I'd always do is I'd go straight to the support team or to the support queue or to the support emails and look at what people were asking for me to get an understanding of what wasn't working. Mm-hmm. I would love for you to share some specific examples of how you've driven your operational efficiency while enhancing the borrower experience without sacrificing any of the benefits you provide.
Yeah. So Ted, you mentioned, going to the source as a bedrock to get ideas. Could not agree more. If you want lots and lots of great ideas on how you can improve in operations, just go do a side-by-side with any of our agents, right? They will tell you what is wrong with, whether it's a telephony system. They will tell you where you can make enhancements for customers and what customers are saying. I don't think customer experience suffers when you drive operational efficiency. In fact, I think it's enhanced as we drive operational efficiency. Examples of things that we have done: attempting to drive parity in servicing channels across each of our channels. And so what you can do from a voice perspective, you can do on the servicing website. What you can do in chat, you can do via SMS. And so driving parity in servicing channels has been a game changer for us. It's listening to customers. It's making data-led decisions, right? So if you have 10,000 customers dropping out of the IVR for this call type, how can you get ahead of that? How can you be proactive as opposed to just reactive and answering their calls? And so I think listening to customers, being data-led, and again, enhancing self-service capabilities has made the difference for us.
I want to jump into one other specific aspect, and because I've spoken with the Best Egg team at length, I know that this is a big aspect of how you've really wowed your customers and shown up for your customers in a meaningful way. We've chatted at length about how your customers were your first priority when the COVID pandemic hit, and what you did for your customers and what that meant and the impact that that had. I would love if you would give us a recap of how Best Egg really showed their true colors during that time and were able to really focus on the customer and what they needed.
I'll talk about that first. 6 to 8 months was one of the defining periods, I think, for our business. For me personally and professionally, one of the proudest periods of time that I've had in my career. We were able to flip a 100% in-house call center to working from home inside of 2 weeks. Our technology teams were amazing. Wow. We were able to be there for our customers in a way that I'd never experienced prior to that. And so just for a little bit of context, we, generally speaking, have somewhere around 4 to 5% of our portfolio on a payment program or a loan extension at any given time. As we entered, I think it was the March or April period during COVID in 2020, that spiked to about 15%. So 15% of our portfolio were now not paying. They weren't going past due, but they were not paying. And we quickly had to come up with a way to transition customers from not making payments back into making full contractual payments. Not an easy thing to do. It was a scary time for customers, and as a business, it was a very uncertain time for us. And so talk about ruthless prioritization. We prioritized and focused on getting these customers the support and flexibility that they needed to get back to paying on their loans. And so in record time, it was a matter of weeks, we were able to, from concept through to implementation and in production, build 2 repayment programs. And if I were to fast forward 6 to 8 months after that period, it was just a little blip in the radar, right? Customers use those extensions. They got on these flexible repayment programs that we were able to build in record time, and they went back to paying as agreed in record time. And so it was very affirming to me how customer-centric this business is when we were able to, first of all, gain the buy-in and then get the tech resource and then focus and execute on getting those programs in place. It was an amazing time.
Hey, Ted Huff here. Ever thought about how you could streamline your application and underwriting process? Well, let me introduce you to Under. Why keep using the outdated methods of PDFs when you can digitize them effortlessly? All you gotta do is upload the PDF, send it out for digital signature, and voila, you're set for the digital age. Are you curious on how to make that happen? Head over to under.io/FTC and get started for free. It's really that simple. To be able to accomplish something like that, it definitely makes me not surprised at all that Best Egg achieved a top 10 spot in J.D. Power's ranking for personal lenders, not just once, but over the past 2 years. What contributed most to that success, and how you're going to carry that forward in the changing environment that is relatively uncertain at this time?
I can only tell you, so there's some secret sauce behind these rankings. I am really proud of that accomplishment and being able to be named alongside, some of the biggest financial institutions that have been in business for, hundreds of years in some cases. We heard from customers through that JD Power survey that they appreciate us for the ease of doing business with us and for the value add that our customer servicing agents provide when they service loans. And so that's something that, again, pulls at my heartstrings a bit. I firmly believe that people make the dream work, and we are a customer-centric business, but we are also a people-centric business internally. And getting that feedback is, again, it's heartwarming to me. How we carry that going forward into the future is we continue to invest in people, we continue to invest in technology, and again, empowering our frontline colleagues, putting relevant real-time information at their fingertips to be able to best serve customers, and continue our high focus on simplicity, ease, and flexibility in all things servicing.
I will second that. And I love that you brought up your frontline staff and your people. One, talking about how your team, who is building in LoanPro and the origination system and other systems you have, shadow them. But two, how they are just as important as your customers because they are the face of your company.
That's right.
I won't share the number because I don't know if I can share the number, but of all the customers we have, Best Egg that I've chatted with, and I typically ask this question, Best Egg has one of the lowest employee turnover rates from your frontline staff. And that makes a huge impact. And that's an area that transparently a lot of people don't focus on. They're like, customer, customer, customer. Focus on the people that interact with the customer to make sure they can deliver in a consistent, meaningful way.
Yeah, our
You just
frontline
gave away a
colleagues.
secret sauce item there, Colton.
I didn't share how they did it. I didn't share they're doing cool stuff.
Our frontline colleagues are the best. I won't share the attrition rate, but I will tell you, if you're familiar with call center attrition rates, we are probably 1/6 of the average call center attrition rate. So, yeah.
It's incredible.
So I'm going to ask you, Alex, to reach under the desk, out of the closet, whatever it is. And heck, even if you want to, we'll hop in the DeLorean and head into the future about 5 years. Mm-hmm. I want you to go there. I want you to look at what's going on, come back, and share with us what you see happening in lending and specifically personal lending in the next 5 years.
So, Ted, I thought this question might come up, and I consulted my crystal ball, and it was just a cloud, a bunch of fog in there. But
what did you set on fire? Jeez.
But I will tell you, I know that customers will have more optionality than they have today, right? They will have options. If you think about the options that the customers have today, it is a simple click of a couple buttons on their computer, and they can understand. They get dozens and dozens of loan offers, and so I think options and choice will be plentiful. Personalization is going to separate companies. I think customer loyalty is going to separate companies. So being able to attract consumers into your ecosystem is step one. Maintaining that relationship going forward, serving that customer's needs over a longer period of time is going to be critical. Data is going to be important. Use of data is going to be important. The amount of data, specifically from an alternative data standpoint, is just growing exponentially, and so that is going to influence the future of lending. I think from an operational standpoint, customers already expect to be able to again serve in their through the channels that they prefer when they prefer. I think hopefully Best Egg can change the industry a bit from a flexibility standpoint, so that customers aren't surprised when they have flexibility within financial services, but that it becomes more of the norm, and customers are shown that their business is valued because businesses are willing to be flexible and, again, meet them where they are.
As more optionality comes, the personalization becomes really important. I want to hit you with 2 rapid fire questions because we didn't touch on it, and we touch on it every single episode. And like we need to. AI, overrated or
Oh,
underrated?
here he goes.
I
Here he
know.
goes.
AI, Alex, overrated or underrated?
Too new to rate. So
Okay,
I'll go
good
outside of the
answer.
box. Yeah.
I like that one.
But critical. I will tell you, I think it's critical. There are many applications that are discussed in industry forums around customer-facing applications, and I think all of that is very important. I can tell you what I am probably most excited about are the agent-facing use cases for AI. How do we make things more efficient? How do we allow our employees to focus on the things that are more important? And how do we enhance the agent experience with the same level of tenacity and focus that we go after customer experience with?
We've learned about the incredible success of Best Egg without sharing all the secrets. So you don't need to share the secrets, but help us understand what's next for Best Egg. Lending verticals, technology, like the direction that Best Egg is headed.
We were a monoline business, a personal loan business for a number of years, 8 years of our history. Within the last 2 years, we've launched several new products. And so I don't think the near term or midterm future looks like, lots of new product implementations, but I think it looks like making enhancements on the flagship product, because although we've come a long way and we have a very good value proposition for customers, we can always get better. And so we were focused there. And we were also focusing on scaling these new businesses. Nothing to write home about by way of, new and interesting products out there, but scaling the businesses that we've launched recently is really important.
So we're talking about all these different personalized loan products and making these changes and all these different things. And, in past episodes with other folks that are in the lending space, we've talked about the potential role that blockchain and smart contracts can play in these spaces. I would love to get your perspective on that technology playing a part in what you guys do over at Best Egg.
Admittedly, I am not the expert on blockchain technology. What I can tell you is that from an unsecured personal loan standpoint, it's unclear to me how that technology plays a big role. When you get to the secured side and you start dealing with UCC filings for our home secured product, if you've ever worked in the auto lending industry, then more power to you. It is one of the most archaic processes that one can imagine. I would love to see a blockchain for auto titles. I would love to see a blockchain for mortgages or deeds. And so, my hope is that technology is advanced in the future, because I can tell you it is a friction-full process to originate, secured loans where you have to go through governmental agencies today to perfect liens.
So as you're talking about all these great new technologies and all these different pieces about making sure that you can leverage like the blockchain and smart contracts to really tighten up some of the things that are a little loose in the marketplace, how do you see the regulatory environment supporting things going forward in the personal lending space?
Yeah, I think the regulatory environment, in my experience, has been one of really good intent, highly interested, and supports new technologies that you can clearly articulate how it supports customers and how it is good for customers. And so the specifics of how the regulatory environment will change, I'm uncertain of, but I do know that good intended technologies that are responsibly deployed generally garner favor from regulators.
That's something that I noticed through our conversation today, that everything is based on a purpose, on data, and on an expected outcome. And that is something that I look forward to seeing more in fintech in general. I think we're headed towards that a lot. So I really appreciate you sharing all of that with us today.
Absolutely. Happy to.
Yeah. And Alex, the keynote for me is there's a lot of ways to differentiate, right? And there's a lot of things, and it's not one. One of my the old co-founder of MX, the CTO, is one of my really good friends. He said, "There's no silver bullet, just a truckload of lead ones," and it's the same. Like there's not one differentiator. There's a bunch of ways, but what really highlighted is y'all's focus on the agent experience. Y'all's focus on the customer experience post origination. The pre-origination side is important to be able to get them in the door. But one thing Best Egg is best in class of, what does that experience look like after? So after I pay off my personal loan, I come back to Best Egg next time I need something. And how to change lending. Rhett and I talk about this often. How to change lending from a transaction to a relationship. And y'all have been best in class there. So thank you for joining us today, Alex. It was an absolute pleasure.
True pleasure on my end. Ted, Colton, thank you both. Great to see you both.
Well, folks, that does it for another episode of Accrued. If you've made it this far, go ahead, like the episode, share the episode, leave us a comment. We love having the feedback, as we talked about earlier today. And as always, keep moving forward. As we wrap up today's episode, I've got one last thing for you. If you're in the trenches fighting fraud and financial crime, you know it's a complex battlefield. That's where Hawk's AI tools for real-time payment screening, AML, transaction monitoring, and dynamic customer risk rating come into play. These aren't just buzzwords. They're game changers designed to make your compliance more effective and less of a headache. Imagine slashing through false positives with precision and giving your compliance strategy the edge it needs. Head on over to gethawkai.com to sign up for a demo and discover how their platform can revolutionize how you fight fraud and financial crime.
This has been a production of DD3 Media, with all rights reserved. This is provided for informational purposes only. It is not offered or intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. We strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, but will not be responsible for any missing facts or inaccurate information. You comply and understand that you should use any of this information at your own risk. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile financial assets, so research and make your own financial decisions.